Have you ever stood at the edge of a storm-tossed sea? Waves crashing like the relentless churn of your thoughts, and wondered if true happiness lies not in calming the tempest, but in learning to dance with its rhythm? As the Buddha illuminated in the Dhammapada, happiness does not depend on what you have or who you are. It solely relies on what you think. In a world where tempests of challenge rage unchecked, losses that shatter, uncertainties that gnaw, joys that flicker like fragile lanterns, our hearts ache for solace. Yet, amid this chaos, Buddhism offers not a shield against the gale, but a lantern to navigate its heart, timeless wisdom that transforms suffering into profound awakening. These are not arid doctrines for cloistered monks, but vibrant elixirs for every soul adrift in the human odyssey. Whether you're a weary parent in a bustling city, a dreamer lost in ambition's fog, or a seeker yearning for the quiet pulse of peace, join me on this luminous pilgrimage through 15 sacred insights, drawn from the Buddha's radiant teachings. Each is a gentle ripple in the river of samsara, inviting you to release the oars of striving and float toward the boundless ocean of contentment. Feel the stirrings of hope as we unravel these threads. Forgiveness as a balm for scarred souls. Intention as a compass through impermanence's mists. Generosity as seeds of joy sown in fertile hearts. Here, in the embrace of ancient truths, discover how to weave calm and ecstasy into the tapestry of your days, one mindful breath at a time. Let us embark, hearts open, into this symphony of serenity. 1. The sacred alchemy of forgiveness, releasing the chains of the heart. In the shadowed valleys of resentment, where old wounds fester like thorns in the flesh, forgiveness emerges as Buddhism's radiant lotus, born from muddied waters, blooming into unblemished purity. Rooted in the profound vision of pratityasamutpada, interdependent arising, and dukkha, the pervasive unsatisfactoriness of conditioned existence. Forgiveness is no mere gesture of absolution, but a transformative rite that severs the roots of samsaric bondage. Imagine the raw ache of betrayal, a lover's vow shattered like fragile porcelain, or a friend's barb piercing the soul's tender core, emotions that coil like serpents, poisoning the present with yesterday's venom. The Buddha, in his boundless karuna, unveiled this truth. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of hurling it at another. You alone are scorched. Feel the visceral burn, the self-inflicted blaze that consumes vitality, twisting joy into ash. To forgive, in the dharmic sense, is to unclench that fist, not condoning the harm, nor erasing its echo, but dissolving the adhesive of emotional bondage, recognizing that clinging to rancor only perpetuates the wheel of avidya, ignorance. Envision the metta, loving kindness, meditation as a sacred hearth, seated in Zazen's embrace. You radiate phrases like silken mantras. May I be free from enmity. May you be liberated from suffering, extending this luminous web first to self, then kin, neutral souls, even adversaries. The heart, once armored in ire, softens like frost under dawn's gaze. Barriers crumbling into empathy's fertile soil, linked inexorably to karma, the inexorable law of cause and fruition. Forgiveness disrupts the venomous cycle. Resentment begets retributive seeds, but release scatters petals of merit, ripening into harmonious rebirths. Yet, the tenderness of its trial. For deep lacerations, betrayals that echo like thunder in the chest, traumas that scar the psyche's canvas, forgiveness unfolds not in thunderclap, but petal by petal, through patient svadhyaya, self-inquiry. In moments of midnight vigil, when fury surges like a rogue wave, recall the Buddha's eternal decree from the Dhammapada: hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This is the eternal rule. Let this axiom be your anchor, a whispered vow amid the gale, transforming agony into grace. Through vigilant sadhana, compassion blooms, not as erasure of memory, but as sovereignty over its shadow, unshackling the spirit to soar unbound. Heart aflame with boundless ananda, bliss. In this alchemical forge, you emerge not victim, but victor, liberated, luminous, eternally whole. 2. The compass of intention, charting a course through impermanence's veil. The exquisite ache of existence's fleeting dance, moments slipping like sand through outstretched fingers, leaving us adrift in Anicca's impermanence, ceaseless current. In Buddhism's luminous mandala, living with intention, Samma Sankappa in the Noble Eightfold Path, arises as the Dharmic lodestar, consciously aligning sattva, mind, vak, speech, and karma, action, with the noble truths of our deepest Atman. It is no passive drift through samsara's tempests, but a deliberate vow to infuse each breath with purpose. Values as sacred as the Buddha's first turning of the wheel at Sarnath. Picture the heart's quiet rebellion against entropy. Amid the clamor of obligations, bills piling like autumn leaves, relationships fraying like worn silk, you pause, breath steady as a lotus in storm, and query, what truly nourishes my dharma? This introspection, steeped in vipassana's clarity, unveils priorities like stars piercing noctilucent haze, family's tender embrace over fleeting acclaim, inner equanimity over ephemeral gain, guided by anicca's inexorable whisper, that all sankhara, formations, arise, abide, dissolve, you cease squandering prana, vital breath, on illusions of permanence. Instead crafting sankalpa, resolutions, resonant with bodhicitta, awakened heart. Goals bloom not as rigid edicts, but organic vines. Measurable strides in arogya, health, harmonious sangha, community, or svatantra, self-mastery. Each step a mindful mudra sealing alignment. Sati, mindfulness, infuses the quotidian, savoring raya's steam as if ambrosia. Conversing with ears attuned to another's unspoken dukkha, transforming drudgery into darsana, vision. Ownership blooms. No longer blaming vidhi, fate, or paratantra, others. You wield karma's loom, weaving resilience from threads of svadhina, autonomy. Amid this, katal, gratitude, cascades like monsoon rains, quenching avarice's drought, anchoring you in item, thisness, the now's opulent tapestry, where joy unfurls not in tomorrow's mirage, but today's dewdrop, intention's flame, fanned by Buddha's exhortation to ardently perform what must be done today. For who knows if dawn shall break tomorrow? Kindles authentic jivana, life, thoughts as seeds of metta, words bridges of samvada, harmonious dialogue, deeds ripples of punya, merit. In this sacred choreography, you transcend aimless Ram, wandering, emerging as architect of a saga profound, purposeful, resonant, eternally attuned to the cosmos's silent song. 3. The radiant bloom of generosity, sowing seeds of boundless delight. Envision a parched earth, cracked under avarice's heel, yearning for the monsoon of dana, generosity, Buddhism's emerald virtue. Where the heart's lotus unfurls in selfless effulgence, irrigating samsara's arid wastes with streams of karuna and mudita. Rooted in praticcasamutpada's web, dana transcends mere alms. It is the alchemy of upakara, approach. Bestowing not just vihara, material, but kala, time, sravana, attention, vidya, skill, even kasama, forgiveness, sans expectation of vipaka, fruition. The Buddha, paragon of dana, traversed Magadha's dust, imparting Dhamma freely to mendicants and monarchs alike, embodying the satya. Generosity brings happiness at every stage of its expression. We rejoice in intention's spark. Acts grace, and recollections glow. Feel the visceral thrill, a hand extended to the destitute, not from pity's throne, but hridaya, heart's overflow. Dissolving ahamkaras, egos, veils, revealing the prajna, wisdom, of interconnected Atman. Dana's paramita, perfection, shatters mamatva, possessiveness. Birthing kusala, wholesome, sattva. Philanthropia swells coffers for the afflicted. Yet micro-acts, a listener's nod to the beleaguered. A volunteer's dawn toil, ripple profounder. Igniting reciprocal ananda. Obstacles, lobha, greed, mirage of scarcity, yield to Dana's lens. Unveiling life's cornucopia, the beggar's smile mirrors your plenitude. Dana sadhana, practice, as formal rite. Envision offerings to sangha. Sustaining Dhamma's flame, purifying sattva of klesa, afflictions. Katal, gratitude, reciprocates, honoring others' largesse humbles. Fueling further effusion. In this cascade, Dana forges her daya of mahakaruna, great compassion. Not solitary bloom, but forest of boundless ananda, giver and recipient entwined in karma's luminous mandala. world transmuted into samga of shared radiance. 4. The mirror of self-reflection, unveiling the heart's hidden depths. Beneath the satta's turbulent surface, where shadows of samskara, impressions, swirl like autumn leaves in a gale. Self-reflection, svasambhadana in Vipassana's embrace, emerges as Buddhism's crystalline mirror, reflecting anicca and pratityasamutpada's truths with unflinching karuna. Not mere introspection's whisper, but courageous svadhyaya, self-study, peering into the Atman's labyrinth to dissolve aviya's, ignorance, fog. Birthing bodhi, awakening, dawn. Envision the soul's quiet vigil, dawn's first blush filtering through latticed blinds. You sit in Padmasana, breath a silken thread weaving through the skandhas, aggregates, rupa, form, sighing. Vedana, feeling, ebbing. Samya, perception, clarifying. Samskara, formations, entangling. Vijñāna, consciousness, vasening. The Buddha, in the Satipatthana Sutta, extolled this anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, as the chariot to insight, unveiling the conditioned flux of experientia, where self dissolves into interdependent mirage. Sati's blade severs upadana, clinging knots, revealing patterns, raga, lust, siren call, divesa, aversions, thorned lash, that spawn dukkha's thorns. Integrity blooms, actions scrutinized through sila, ethical conduct, lens. Consequences rippling in karma's pond, evoking ahamkara's, ego's, humble bow. Anatta, no self, unveils, probing Atman reveals no core. Mere flux of dharmas, phenomena, shattering vipallasa, perversion of truth. Birthing upekkha, equanimity, serene expanse. Meditation sanctum, samatha, calm abiding, yielding vipassana's laser. Forges prajna, wisdom, observing satta's undulations sans adjudication. Heart softens into karuna's ocean. Feel the cathartic surge, tears tracing cheeks as illusions crumble. Joy erupting like lotuses from mud, liberation's first blush. Where self-knowledge eclipses samsaric night. In this alchemical gaze, you transcend fragmented jiva, being, emerging as luminous samga of one, wise, compassionate, eternally beheld. 5. The anchor of equanimity, steadying the heart amid impermanence's tide. In the maelstrom of samsara, where sukha, pleasure, and dukkha, pain, whirl like twin vortices. Upekkha, equanimity, Buddhism's steadfast paramita, rises as the dharmic anchor. Unyielding yet tender, cradling the satta in anicca's relentless surge. Not frigid indifference, but profound tatramajatata, even-mindedness. Rooted in vipassana's discernment of trilaksana, three marks, anicca, dukkha, anatta, where phenomena's flux evokes neither rapture's grasp nor aversion's recoil. The Buddha, in the Abhidhamma, extolled upekkha as Brahmavihara's crown, the neutral gaze beholding all with impartial karuna, as if the heart were a lotus afloat on stormy seas, unmoved, yet intimately attuned. Sati's vigilant eye observes Vedana's sensations, ebbing without entanglement, fostering a dosa, non-ill will, serene harbor, amid promotion's elation or demotion's sting. Upekkha whispers, this too passes, dissolving tana, craving, chains. Non-attachment to vipaka, fruits, birth's resilience. Life's tempests, beloved's farewell. Ambitions shatter, met not with vipallasa, delusion, but prajna's, wisdom's, embrace. Where acceptance transmutes agony into ananda's subtle glow. Meditation's forge tempers this. Anapanasati, breath mindfulness, steadies the gale. Birthing samahita, concentration, unrippled lake. Where equanimity radiates as mudita, sympathetic joy, for all beings' flux. Feel the soul's quiet rapture, chest expanding in boundless spaciousness. Tears of release tracing joy's path, upekkha not detachment's chill, but hridaya, heart's vast embrace. Where every ripple, pleasant or poignant, dissolves into dharmata, suchness, eternal song. In this poised grace, you navigate samsara not as victim, but awakened voyager, serene, sovereign, eternally home. 6. The gentle forge of patience, enduring impermanence with graceful resolve. Amid karma's inexorable loom, where vipaka, ripening, weaves joy and dukkha in intricate mandala. Kanti, patience, Paramida's unyielding emerald, blooms as Buddhism's quiet titan. Tempering the Sata against Anicca's scythe with Karuna's resilient weave. Not stoic endurance, but active Taitraparidva, forbearance. Rooted in Praticca vision, all phenomena interdependent, transient, thus provocations mere echoes of collective samskara, formations. The Buddha, in the Jataka tales, incarnated as the ascetic Kantavadi, enduring flaying without rancor, embodying patience is the highest austerity. A mantra evoking the heart's alchemical fire, transmuting provocation's blaze into prajna's, wisdom's, luminous coal. Sati's steady gaze beholds irritation's surge, delayed trist's frustration. Ingratitude's barb, sans divesa, aversion. Birthing adinava, disenchantment, with reactivity's snare. Accepting vipaka's law, action's echoes in samsara's hall. Fosters upeksha, equanimity, delays not curses. But dharmic pauses for metta's, loving kindness, bloom. Interbeing's lens dissolves, other provocateurs lash mirrors your untamed klesa, afflictions. Evoking Mahakaruna, great compassion, patience as Bodhikata's vow, enduring for all beings odyssey. Meditation's anvil hones. Vipassana discerns irritation's anicca. Breath a bridge to virati, restraint. Heart softening into mudita, joy, for shared flux. Feel the cathartic thaw. Fury's frost yielding to serenity's river. Tears of release mingling with laughter's dawn, Kanti not passive yoke. But Hridaya, heart's sovereign throne. Where endurance forges unbreakable Atman, self. Radiant in samsara's storm. 7. The dissolution of ego. Unveiling anatta's liberating void. In the Sata's labyrinth, where ahamkara, ego, erects fortresses of mine and I, anatta, no self, Buddhism's radical prajna, shatters illusions like dawn dispersing nocturnal phantoms. Birthing vimati, liberation, from samsaric chains. Not annihilation's abyss, but profound pasyati, insight. Atman is mere sankara, formations, flux, rupa, form. Vedana, feeling, samya, perception, samskara, volitions, vijñāna, consciousness, interdependent, anicca, impermanent, thus devoid of Atman, eternal essence. The Buddha, in the Anattalakana Sutta, proclaimed to 5 ascetics, form is not self, feeling is not self, perception is not self, fabrications are not self, consciousness is not self, evoking the soul's seismic quake, ego's citadel crumbling, revealing Praticca luminous web. Prajna's scalpel dissects mamatva, possessiveness, pride's throne topples, arrogance's scepter shatters, birthing amanitva, humility's meadow, where connections deepen sans self's veil, empathy's river flowing unbound. Svadhyaya, self-inquiry, illuminates ego's machinations. Mindfulness unveils patterns, ragas, craving, siren. Divesa, aversions, lash, fostering viraga, dispassion. Where identification yields to upeksha, equanimity. Karuna, compassion. Cascades. Beholding samsara's shared dukkha dissolves, other. Birthing Bodhikata's vow, ego's dissolution is Mahayana's gateway. Meditation's sanctum, samatha yielding vipassana, forges this. Observing Skanda's flux sans asmi, I amness. Heart erupts in Ananda's cascade. Tears of recognition tracing joy's path. Feel the ecstatic void. Chest vast as akasa, space. Laughter bubbling from anatta's freedom, ego not foe, but teacher. Guiding to Atman's true expanse, boundless. Interconnected, eternally liberated. 8. The dance of anicca, embracing change as liberation's rhythm. In samsara's kaleidoscopic whirl, where phenomena cascade like autumn's fiery rain, anicca, impermanence's inexorable satya, unfurls as Buddhism's ecstatic waltz, transmuting flux's terror into prajna's, wisdom's, rapturous embrace. Not dukkha's dirge, but dharmata's, suchness, symphony. All sankara, conditioned, arise. Abide, dissolve, rupa's bloom withers. Vedana's, feeling, wave crests and crashes, evoking the Buddha's clarion from the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. This is the noble truth of suffering, born of contact. Feeling, impermanent. Feel the heart's poignant thrill. Loss's laceration yielding to renewal's dawn. Change not thief, but dharmic sculptor, carving resilience from clay of upadana, clinging. Anatta's lens unveils, fixed outcomes illusions. Tana, craving, the true Mara, tempter, releasing Vipaka's karma fruit, grip births upeksha, equanimity. Where promotion's nectar and demotion's gall dissolve in equanimous flow. Sati, mindfulness, savors item. Thisness, anapanasati, breath awareness, anchors amid mutability. Gratitude cascades for prana, life's breath, transforming ephemera into Ananda's jewels. Meditation's right, vipassana discerning trilakshana, 3 marks, forges kanti, patience, observing samskaras, formations, evanescence. Heart blooms in mudita, sympathetic joy, for life's mandala. Envision the cathartic surge, grief's torrent ebbing to serenity's sea. Laughter amid ruins, anicca not harbinger of void, but karuna's, compassion, s. Kultabodhikata, awakened resolve. Dancing samsara's rim with grace unbound. 9. The eternal quest for prajna. Illuminating the shadows of aviya. In aviya's, ignorance, nocturnal shroud. Where samsara's illusions ensnare like silken webs. Seeking prajna, wisdom, Buddhism's supernal paramita, ignites as the dharmic torch. Piercing dukkha's veil with vipassana's unerring blaze. Not erudition's hoard, but pasyati, direct seeing, discerning praticya samutpadas, dependent arising, mandala. Anicca, impermanence. Dukkha, anatta, no self, as trilakshana, 3 marks. Birthing nirvana's, extinction, luminous shore. The Buddha, in the Kalama Sutta, exhorted, do not go upon what has been reported, but when you yourselves know, these things are good, leading to welfare and happiness, enter on and abide in them. Evoking the soul's fervent quest, heart aflame with adhyatma, spiritual inquiry. Dissolving vipalasa, perverted views. Open sata, mind, svatantra, inquisitive. Vinaya, humble, unravels samskaras, impressions, knots. Questioning dharmas, phenomena. Probing atmans, self, mirage. Birthing amanitva, humility, s meadow. Tripitakas, 3 baskets, nectar, Sutta's parables. Vinaya's ethics. Abhidhamma's analysis, fuels svadhyaya, study. Reflections forge yielding bodhi, awakening, s fruit. Sati, mindfulness, amplifies. Anapanasati, breath mindfulness, unveils klesa, afflictions, s flux. Karuna, compassion, cascades from interconnected prajna. Meditation sanctum, samatha, calm, to vipassana, insight, crystallizes. Observing sankharas, formations, evanescence. Tears of recognition trace joy's path. Ego's fortress yields to upeksha, equanimity, s expands. Feel the ecstatic unveiling. Chest vast as akasa, space. Laughter from aviya's dissolution, prajna not distant grail, but hridaya, heart, s innate blaze. Illuminating samsara to nirvana's eternal dawn. 10. The Odyssey of Discernment, unveiling prajna's eternal flame. Deeper into aviya's, ignorance, labyrinth. Where samsara's phantoms mock with gilded chains. Seeking prajna, wisdom, Buddhism's paramita crown, unfurls as the Atman's Odyssey. A fervent pilgrimage through vipassana's, insight, crucibles toward bodhi, awakening, s radiant apex. Not pandita's, scholars, trove, but vipassana's, clear seeing, piercing praticya samutpada, dependent origination, s veils. Beholding anicca, impermanence. Dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. Anatta, no self, as dharmata's, suchness, indelible marks. Extinguishing tana, craving, s pyre in nirvana's, liberation, cool embers. The Buddha, in the Anguttara Nikaya, proclaimed, if you knew what I know about the power of giving and gratitude, you would not let a single meal pass without expressing thankfulness. Yet prajna's quest echoes Lao Tzu's shadow in Buddha's light. He who knows others is wise. He who knows himself is enlightened. Stirring the soul's seismic yearning, heart ablaze with adhyatma, inner quest. Shattering vipalasa, inverted perceptions. Ainya, inquisitive, sata, svatantra, free. Vinaya, modest, unravels samskaras, latent tendencies. Labyrinth. Interrogating dharmas, elements. Excavating Atmans, self-phantasm. Birthing Amanitva, egolessness, verdant veil. Tripitakas, canon. Ambrosia, Suttas vignettes. Vinaya's precepts. Abhidhamma's dissection, ignites svadhyaya, contemplative study. Reflections anvil forging bodhicittotpada, awakened resolve, spark. Sati, recollection, magnifies. Anapanasati, unveils klesa, defilements, torrent. Mahakaruna, great compassion, surges from interdependent discernment. Jnana's, knowledge, sanctum. Samatha, tranquility, yielding vipassana, forges. Beholding sankharas, conditioned, evanescence. Lacrimae, tears, of cognizance trace Ananda's, bliss, arc. Ahamkaras, ego, bastion surrenders to upeksha, equipoise, infinity. Savor the rapturous disclosure. Thorax expansive as akasa, void. Hasya, laughter, from avias, any science, eclipse. Prajna not remote amarta, nectar. But Hridaya's, heart's, primordial conflagration. Transfiguring samsara into nirvana's perennial aurora. 11. The liberation of non-attachment. Dissolving the veils of upadana. In upadana's, clinging, silken snare. Where tana, thirst, binds Atman to samsara's wheel like vines to crumbling stone. Viraga, non-attachment. Buddhism's emancipatory paramita, unfurls as the dharmic zephyr. Severing bonds with karuna's, compassion, clement blade. Birthing vimukti, release, from dukkha's, suffering, inexorable gyre. Not ascetic renunciation's stark void, but nekama, dispassion. Beholding anicca, impermanence, as dharmata, suchness. Where all sankhara, formations, bhoga, possessions. Parigraha, relations. Vipaka, outcomes, flux like autumn's blaze. Evoking the Buddha's Dhammapada decree. From attachment comes grief, from attachment comes fear. For one freed from attachment, there is no grief, no fear. Feel the poignant liberation. Avarice is greed, phantom dissolving. Heart's vice yielding to spaciousness's sigh. Sati's, mindfulness, unerring gaze discerns raga, passion, mirage. Possessions gleam fading to dust. Relations nectar souring in time's alembic, non-attachment not aversion's chill. But upeksha, equanimity, warm expanse. Where detachment from atmakara, self-making, unveils pratitya samutpada, interdependence, luminous net. Meditation's right, anapanasati, breath mindfulness, to vipassana, insight, tempers. Observing skandhas, aggregates, evanescence. Chest blooms in mudita, appreciative joy. Tears of release tracing serenity's arc. Karuna cascades. Beholding samsara's shared flux dissolves, mine. Birthing bodhicitta, enlightened resolve. Vow, non-attachment as Mahayana's portal. Where relinquishment forges boundless ananda, bliss. Envision the ecstatic unbinding. Forms fortress crumbling to akasa, space. Laughter amid voids. Viraga not loss's lament. But Hridaya, heart, sovereign flight. Eternal in samsara's dream. 12. The efflorescence of mudita. Cultivating joy's sympathetic radiance. In dukkha's, suffering, somber shroud. Where envy coils like ivy on joy's tender shoot. Mudita, sympathetic joy. Brahmavihara's, divine abode, emerald gem. Blossoms as Buddhism's rapturous paean. Transmuting schadenfreude's thorn into karuna's, compassion, luminous cascade. Not solipsistic glee, but ananda, bliss, vicarious. Delighting in another's sukha, happiness. As if one's own hridaya, heart, danced in their light. The Buddha, in the Visuddhimagga, extolled mudita as appreciative joy. Antidote to isa, envy. Evoking. Joy arises from wholesome states. Dana, generosity. Katal, gratitude. Metta, loving kindness. Karuna, nurturing sattas, minds. Kusala, wholesome, bloom. Feel the heart's effervescent surge. Kin's triumph igniting your ananda. Stranger's serendipity a shared corona. Sati's, mindfulness. Gentle lens beholds mudita's genesis. Transcending mamatva, possessiveness. Where another's laurel crowns your own. Envy's acid yielding to upeksha, equanimity, nectar. Metta bhavana, loving kindness cultivation, seeds it. Phrases like, may your joy abound, radiating from self to Sangha, community. Dissolving Divesa, ill will, barriers. Non-attachment to Vipaka, karma fruits. Amplifies. Beholding samsara's flux. Mudita blooms in anicca, impermanence, garden, joy not hoarded, but effused. Rippling praticya samutpada, interdependence, web. Meditation's sanctum. Anapanasati, breath awareness, to mudita jhana, absorption, forges. Visualizing another's bliss. Chest swells in empathetic ananda. Tears of vicarious rapture tracing bliss's arc. Karuna, compassion, entwines. Mudita heals dukkha's schism. Birthing bodhicitta, awakened aspiration, vow. Joy is Mahayana's beacon. Illuminating samsara's night. Envision the ecstatic contagion. Solitude's hush yielding to communal symphony. Laughter cascading like monsoon. Mudita not fleeting spark, but Hridaya's heart's eternal pyre. Boundless in samsara's dream. 13. The wellspring of karuna, forging compassion's unyielding flame. In samsara's crucible, where dukkha, suffering, forges souls like iron in fire's maw. Karuna, compassion, Brahmavihara's divine abode, sapphire core, erupts as Buddhism's indomitable pyre. Transmuting anguish's alloy into bodhicitta's enlightened resolve, radiant blade. Not pity's condescension, but Mahakaruna, great compassion, ardent aspiration to emancipate all sentiences from klesa, afflictions, yoke. Beholding praticya samutpada, interdependence, as Hridaya's heart's shared pulse. The Buddha, in the Karaniya Metta Sutta, invoked. Just as a mother shields her child, so too cultivate boundless heart toward all beings. Evoking the soul's visceral vow, tears welling at another's thorn, resolve stealing to uproot it. Sati's mindfulness, unblinking eye discerns karuna's fount, transcending ahamkara, ego. Where others' dukkha mirrors your own, envy's veil rends. Birthing mudita, sympathetic joy, cascade. Metta bhavana, loving kindness cultivation. Ignites. May all be freed from dukkha, radiating quadrants, self. Kin, foe, universe. Dissolving divesa, hatred, chasm. Anatta, no self, amplifies. Beholding samsara's flux. Karuna surges as upeksha, equanimity, tide, compassion not selective, but impartial. Rippling karmas, action fruit, mandala. Tonglen's right, inhaling collective's thorns. Exhaling amrita, nectar, forges. Visualizing samsara's throng. Chest convulses in empathetic blaze. Lacrimae, tears, forging resolve's arc. Mudita entwines. Karuna heals schism. Birthing bodhisattva, enlightened being, Mahayana vow. Compassion as Sangha, community, beacon. Transfiguring samsara's night. Feel the alchemical rapture. Isolation's frost yielding to unity's inferno. Laughter amid sobs. Karuna not sentimental sigh, but Hridaya's heart's sovereign conflagration. Eternal in dukkha's dream. 14. Anicca's ecstatic waltz, surrendering to change's divine choreography. In the cosmic ballet of samsara, where sankhara, formations, pirouette in anicca's impermanence, eternal pas de deux, rising. Abiding, ceasing like cherry blossoms in vernal zephyr, embracing mutability unfurls as Buddhism's rapturous libretto. Transmuting fluxus frisson into prajna's, wisdom's, harmonious crescendo. Not elegy for evanescence, but dharmata's, suchness. Jubilant refrain. All dharmas, phenomena. Rupas, forms, bloom. Vedanas, feelings, undulation, impermanent. Thus the Buddha's anicca sutta thundered. All conditioned things are impermanent. When one sees this with wisdom, one turns away from suffering. Savor the heart's poignant ecstasy. Bereavement's dirge yielding to renewal's aria. Change not marauder, but karmic choreographer. Sculpting kanti, patience, from clay of upadana, clinging. Anatta's, no self, prism refracts. Fixed sequelae phantasms. Tana, craving, the true asura, demon. Relinquishing vipakas, karma fruit. Vice births upeksha, equanimity. Where ascension's nectar and dissension's galled twirl in impartial gavat. Sati, mindfulness. Choreographs. Anapanasati, breath mindfulness, anchors the arabesque. Katal, gratitude, cascades for prana, vitality, fugue. Transfiguring ephemera into muditas, sympathetic joy, jewels. Vipassana's right, discerning trilakshana, 3 marks, tempers. Beholding samskaras, formations, evanescence. Thorax blooms in karuna, compassion, cascade. Lacrimae, tears, tracing serenity's glissade. Mudita entwines. Anicca heals stasis's schism. Birthing bodhicitta, awakened resolve. Vow. Impermanence as Mahayana's padadur. Illuminating samsara's nocturne. Envision the cathartic quadrille. Stasis's frost yielding to flux's inferno. Hasya, laughter, amid metamorphoses. Anicca not void's requiem, but Hridaya's heart's sovereign ballet. Perpetual in samsara's reverie. 15. Katal's ambrosial harvest. Nurturing gratitude's eternal vineyard. In Aviya's, ignorance, barren fallow. Where samsara's illusions parch the Atman like sun-scorched clay. Katal, gratitude, Buddhism's ambrosial paramita, erupts as the dharmic vinery. Vines of Katalukata, thankfulness, entwining Anicca's impermanence, trellis. Harvesting Ananda's bliss, vintage from dukkha's suffering, dregs. Not perfunctory nod, but Hridaya, heart, fervent libation. Acknowledging life's boons, prana, breath. Parigraha, kin, dharmata's suchness, whispers, shifting vipalasa, perverted view, from scarcity's specter to abundance's feast. The Buddha, in the Anguttara Nikaya, proclaimed, if you knew, as I do, the power of giving in gratitude, you would not let a single meal pass without sharing it, evoking the soul's vinous rapture, tears of recognition salting joy's chalice. Sati's, mindfulness, vintner's eye beholds Katal's terroir, transcending paricheta, comparison. Where another's bounty mirrors your own, Isa, envy's acid yields to mudita, sympathetic joy, nectar. Katal bhavana, gratitude cultivation, diurnal reflections, for this viand savor. Kin's osculation, samvega, spiritual urgency, spark, irrigate Hridaya. Dissolving divesa, ill will, drought. Anatta, no self, enriches. Beholding samsara's flux. Katal surges as upeksha. Equanimity, vintage, gratitude not hoarded, but effused. Rippling praticya samutpada, interdependence, vineyard. Meditation's kuve, anapanasati, breath mindfulness, to Katal jhana, absorption, ferments. Envisioning boons cascade. Thorax swells in empathetic ananda. Lacrimae, tears, forging contentment's arc. Karuna, compassion. Vintages. Katal heals schism. Birthing bodhicitta, awakened resolve. Vow. Thankfulness as Mahayana's libation. Transfiguring samsara's aridity. Feel the alchemical effervescence. Isolation's lees yielding to unity's bouquet. Hasya, laughter, amid vintages, Katal not ephemeral toast, but Hridaya's heart's perennial crew. Boundless in samsara's dream. Epilogue. The Dharma's eternal dawn. As samsara's mandala revolves, Anicca's impermanence, wheel-grinding illusions to dust. The Buddha's satya, truths, emerge not as distant edicts, but Hridaya's heart's innate compass. Anicca's embrace dissolving upadana, clinging. Katal's gratitudes, vintage quenching tana, thirst. Karuna's compassion, pyre illuminating aviya, ignorance. Integrate these into jivana's, life's warp. Forgive as river erodes stone. Intend as lotus seeks sun. Give as monsoon nourishes earth. In this tapestry, dukkha yields to ananda, bliss. Samsara to nirvana, liberation, a odyssey of profound metanoia, transformation. Where each breath whispers, you are the Dharma, eternally awake. May these petals of prajna, wisdom, unfurl in your hridaya, birthing a cosmos of boundless karuna and mudita. Music fades into silence's embrace.